We'll do a review. This is the third part. This is in Chelek Beis in volume 2. The third part for the Shavuos Sicha, and we're learning this Lilu Nishmas, Rav Levi Yitzchak and Rav Chaim Tzvi, Lilu Nishmasei, Tein Nishmasei Tzurur B'Tzur Chaim. The up to Eis Yud Ches in the Sicha of Shavuos, this third part. And the Rebbe discusses over here the lessons from the fact that the Torah was given in the Midbar. We have the general lesson that the Torah was given in a place which is ownerless, it's hefker. Everybody can take Torah belongs to everybody. There is no limitations, and therefore that aspect of the midbar is very appropriate for Torah. But this sikha, the Rebbe explores. But the midbar was a place where there was no food, there was no drink, no clothing, and all of these things they needed to come on to Moshe Rabbeinu for the manna and to uh, Miriam for the water and to and for Aaron. So the question is, how is that applicable uh, as a yid for getting the Torah there? The Rebbe explains that to learn Torah, you have to put away all kinds of calculations. You just have to devote yourself to Torah, not worry, not about the food, and not about the clothing, and not about the water. And the Eibishter will provide it for you as he did over there. Let's look inside. Yud Ches. Der Tam of them was the Torah is gegeben geworden in Midbar. The reason why the Torah was given in the Midbar is to weisen, is to point out as a Zovi a Midbar is a Mokem Hefker. Just like a Midbar is a ownerless place, on a balabais, there's nobody owns it. Azoy is Oichev Torah Nitokim balabais. Likewise, Torah doesn't have, nobody has ownership over Torah. When jeder Yid is shaykh zu Torah, and every Yid is connected, can learn Torah. And when they learn Torah, wird die Torah sein, and when he learns the Torah, it becomes his. So it's, you can pick up the Torah and then it becomes yours. However, the other detail, Favos is over the Torah gegeben geworden in a Midbar. But why was it given in a desert? A non-ownerless place, okay, there's other places, but the desert, which is Eretz Sia v'Oyev, it's a parched land, tired land. There's no water. On clay there was no clothing there. On Es, without food. On Afil on Vaser, there's not even water there. What's the significance of the Torah being given in a desert which lacks all these items? It's more than just an ownerless place, but it has a lacking in many of the basic essential needs they didn't have in the Midbar. Via state, as it's written, as the Kleider seine mitgewachsen mit in the Midbar, that the clothing grew along together with the Yidden in the Midbar. They didn't change their clothing. They have to buy clothing, but the clothing grew with them. Gegessen haben sie den Mon, they ate from the Mon, und Wasser haben sie der Eberster gegeben von a Stein, and the water they got from a stone. Weil dort in Midbar is nicht gewähnt kein Sache. There was nothing in the desert. So what's the lesson? Is Farvosot men gegeben the Torah Dafki in Azavis the Midbar. Why was the Torah given in such a desolate desert? Why was it given there? Okay, it's a hefkerdik place, but still, what's the lesson from the Midbar? In a moshel von Torah seine doch alle seine Protim mekuven zu nimshol. So when the Torah gives a moshel, so all the details have to be fitting to the nimshol. So it's not just one aspect. Oh, it's ownerless, but also the other details should fit the muss man doch sagen. So therefore, we need to say as the alle Protim seine given in them midbar hob mashayches to matan Torah. So we have to say that all the details that were in the desert have a connection to matan Torah. That even der monter tam, the above reason for being in a hefkedika place is doch nor if the prat from mokum hefker. That's just for the detail that it's in an ownerless place. It doesn't explain the other details of the desert. Nit if the andere pratim, not the other details. So what's the lesson from that? And the Rebbe will explain now in Noisi Tes that there are various arguments that people say why they can't learn Torah. Whether it's people who are occupied in their business, they're too busy, and whether they're um, studying Torah, they also have reasons why they can't go to the highest level.
Sound or for others.
Yutes, wenn es kommt zu Limud Torah Teinitmen, when we're coming to studying Torah, so the argument is, as ein Adolf verschiedene manias, there are various kinds of obstacles. Vorstellen zu lernen that interfere, can't learn. Man stellt zu verschiedene Teines, you present various arguments, dicke Verantwortungen, and strange kinds of excuses. Wenn man mont von Abal Isaac, when we're expecting from a person who's in business, that he should set time for learning Torah. His argument is as nit dosi sein inyan. That's not his matter. The Torah study is not his thing. That is Abal Isaac. He's a person who's in business. Und sein Inyan is to get tzedakah, and his thing is to give charity. Unendliche Inyanim, similar ideas. Aber nicht zu lernen Torah, but not to study Torah. He knows as the Inyan von Abal Isaac is to uprise sich mitten Isaac und davne mincha. You know that this is actually something for a person in business to tear himself away in the middle of his business to go ahead and daven mincha. Yeah, that he knows. And as it's known, that this is the mile for tefillas mincha. That this is actually the advantage of the mincha prayer. The advantage is biz as oich Eliyahu leinena el betfilas mincha. Eliyahu was responded to his prayer to the Eberster, and the Eberster came and put the fire for him for the korbanos. It's happened during mincha time because of the advantage of mincha. To tear yourself away to the middle of the business day to go for mincha. So the business person argues, and so he already has something very big. So why do they chase him? Go study Torah specifically. So when we expect from him, demand from him, to study a portion of Chumash with Rashi, and Veretnoch, and of course we tell him that Shir Tanya, the portion of Tanya, Tainater. So his argument is in return, when you're expecting from him, Chasidus Mondoch Avodah Beseder V'Hadroga. That Chasidus demands service in a order and step by step. Is freer veteroptom b'shleimus alle seine inyonim bis tfilas mincha. So first he is going to do everything that he needs to do fully till mincha time. As a Vilyonovi. And by mincha he'll turn himself away. He'll do that. And then then he'll go higher. He doesn't remove himself. He doesn't deny that he will himself to study Chumash with Rashi or the Tanya, but outside that side, but it will come within time. When he'll get free from his other matters in a seder, in an orderly way. That's the argument of a business person, that he can't take the time out just like that to devote to Torah. Then you have the argument of a person who is occupied with Torah. He has also arguments. The one who sits in the tent and studies Torah. When is demanded from him that you should be invested fully. All my bones should speak the praise of Hashem. or lo yomish v'goymer, not to stop learning. Und das Gleiche or similar. Sagt sich nicht ab von them. He doesn't reject that, doesn't refuse that. Nor teinet as darf haben dazu achonas. But his argument, he needs to prepare himself. Früher darf sich ausschlafen. First, he needs to get all the sleep. Better hamaru yikar. So then his head will be relaxed. Er darf sich abhitten. He must watch himself. Essen edla macholim v'chulu. He has to eat refined foods. And the Rebbe brings down in Alshich state, Val derech zeh b'shal Shavuos Rambam. In the Alshich, it's written similar in the response of the Rambam, as when man est edla macholim edl tas ois de kop. If you eat refined food, it refines your head. So he has to make sure that the food that he's eating is refined. And after he will do all this, he'll sleep and he'll eat the right foods, then he will sit down to learn. So here we have the lesson, Chof. If the Reif is the Eroe from the Sinas HaTorah in Midbar Eretz Tziv Oyed L'moyim. This is the lesson that the Torah was given in the desert, which was a parched land, tired land without water. As benegeya zu Torah darf man sich in ganzen verlassen auf dem Ebersten. Now, when it comes to Torah, you need to entirely rely on Hashem. Punkt wie zu Matan Torah. Just as to Matan Torah, sein die Eden arois from Mitzrayim in a midbar be'eretz lo yizruah. The Eden went out of Egypt to a desert. That's to Matan Torah, in a land that has not been sown, in a desert. Nicht wissendig wie und mit was sie wollen auskommen. They didn't know how and with what they're going to survive. The mon haben sie gehad b'schus Moshe, the Mona they had in the merit of Moshe, them Amud Onam b'schus Aaron, the pillar of the cloud in the merit of Aaron, and Vasa b'schus Miriam, what do they get in the merit of Miriam? Sie haben sich gedacht, verlosen auf das Schus von 3 Tzadikim, they needed to rely on a merit of 3 Tzadikim. They didn't know there wasn't anything else. Und davke dann, seine sie gewähnt great zu Kabbalah HaTorah. Only then were they prepared to receive the Torah. So this is a lesson also now. For us. Man darf sich setzen lernen. Torah. You have to sit down to study Torah. Verlassen sich auf dem Ebersten and to rely on Hashem. Und dann wird der Eberste geben. Then the Eberste will give everything that you need, physically and spiritually. So the Rebbe says that's what we learn. They came out to get the Torah, not being prepared and knowing and what's going to happen. They had the privileges, so they got from Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam, but they went to get the Torah. So is the lesson. All kinds of excuses and reasoning don't really fit. To get Torah, you have to go and rely on Hashem, and then Hashem will give you everything that you need, both physically and spiritually. This is Mesichas Chag Shavuos Tavshin Yud Aleph.